Alright, another Bo Hojicha, this time coming from Saitama, made by IkenoyaEn. It's the same as the Fukamushicha. Yeah, fuck, I'm disorganized. I'm kind of tired. Give me a scale. Just a second. Okay, it's been a long but very fulfilling day. Okay, so these stems are different thicknesses and different colors compared to the other ones, which I guess had a little bit more consistency. This time you've got kind of like a, I don't know if I would call it even khaki. It's almost too bright to be khaki. I'll pour it here. Have a closer look. There's little bits of leaf in here too, but not much. The stems are cut to different sizes. Doesn't look like it's quite as I don't know, meticulously made as at least one of the other ones that there was. I think, is this the third Bo Hojicha? Can't recall. Well, you've got looks like animal food almost. There's like a pretzel-y kind of brown. I don't know what it is. I don't think I've ever said pretzel brown before. So it's actually maybe 4 tones of brown in here. There's one which is kind of yellowish, like what color? It's like someone's walking cane that has like a lacquer finish on it. It's not a good color description there. I'll do better. This is what I'm talking about. This one. Of course, the camera won't focus on it. Okay, well, I think I'm taking up too much time to look at the color, but it's important. You never skip on things. 4 shades of brown: yellow brown, orange brown, brown brown, which is kind of like cinnamon, and then the leaf brown, which is darker. There's less of it though, and that's kind of like a green brown. Very descriptive coloring. Lots of different sizes, from a little, you wouldn't call them flakes, but like little broken pieces of stem, which are like 3 millimeters long, to 4 millimeters to an inch. It's kind of, yeah, it's all over the place. There's, yeah, plenty of different sizes and a pretty direct aroma. Holding my tongue to say chemical. And you shouldn't hold your tongue either when you smell things, because at the end of the day, it's all your personal opinion, and the more you censor yourself, the less you'll remember. Yeah, so chemical is not the right thing to say. I don't. If I look harder, I don't think I see that. Then what was my mind telling me subconsciously? It smells baked, and I guess I would say it somehow reminds me of baked beans. Though it is a little bit of a sharper aroma than baked beans, it doesn't have that same sort of sweetness, but it has that same sort of level of baked. I don't think baked beans are baked either. I think they're stewed. Something about it has this kind of potato chip quality. Oily fried chips, and there was like a sour cream and onion sort of thing, but then after that I thought hickory, but then not really. Like we have something called hickory sticks. It's kind of, but I don't think that's quite right. But it's closer. It's like sour cream and onion. Maybe that's not the conclusion. It's mostly a fried smell, oily, with a little bit of an oniony note, and yeah, a woodiness. No, not smoky, just fried, oily and fried. Get that water. I'm gonna hit this just with boiling water, I think. I didn't even put the water on the stove. My life. Let me go do that. Yeah, really burning the candle at both ends, as they say. Let's do our little trick again. So you can see that variance in the size. And the biggest ones aren't really even sticking on the glass. Those are like at the bottom. But oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like a roast beef smell. Yeah, it's definitely meaty. And well, we have something called Montreal roast beef, Montreal style smoked roast beef, I guess. That's kind of like that. There's a little bit of, okay, there's a smokiness to this, but it's not like wood smoke. It's not what you'd normally associate with that. It's kind of like if you went into my dad's house, because he's a heavy smoker, and his house always smells like cigarettes. It's kind of like that smell. It's like my dad's house, and then mustard, and Montreal style roast beef sandwich. It's like eating that sandwich in my dad's kitchen. Yeah, I love this technique. It's the best. I'm gonna do this. I gotta get into a habit, that's the problem. Yeah, it's the sharpness of it is what makes me think about mustard, but then it's like the staleness of the smoke. It makes me think of cigarettes. But it's pretty mustardy and pretty meaty. So that's exciting. Guess I'm not gonna say more now. I will sit here and patiently wait for the water to boil, and then we'll continue. Okay. Alexa, start a timer for 2 minutes. So, interestingly, it looks the surface of the tea doesn't look all that appealing. So I don't know if you can see it. So there's like a white foam between all of the leaves, kind of hold everything in place. And usually when I see foam, I equate that to dirtiness. And so I don't often actually see that. When I see it, it's usually a negative, because it kind of looks like, yeah, like a flood, just like picked up a bunch of debris and dirt and carried it up. And so anyway, it's Japanese tea, and I know that might be being too kind to Japan, but I don't think that Japan would make a dirty tea. So yeah, I mean, if it was from another country, I would definitely assume that. And maybe it's not fair to say that Japan wouldn't do that, but it's just my sentiments. I don't think that they would, somehow. And I guess I have no, other than, Alexa, stop. Other than, I don't know, personal opinion, I guess I have no real good reason to say that. Now this is quite a dark orange color. The tea, I mean. I would say that is like spiced rum. Captain Morgan. Or something along those lines. Spiced rum, orange brown. Smells nice. Roasted, but like then when you smell it, so a lot of the times, like what happened with one of the Hojicha, I think it was like the Hojicha, not the Bo Hojicha. Where did that come from? I think that was around Shiga, maybe. Anyway, wherever the Hojicha did come from. I'm not sure if I described it like that on camera, and if I didn't, well, my bad. It happens pretty often with roasted teas that there's like this acrid, sour-esque aroma, and you can see that in here, but it doesn't go all the way. It's not like the full aroma, so it doesn't really come off as bad. I definitely did draw a picture of something on here. Yeah, that thing. That Chex, we call it. That little puffed wheat woven fried basket thing. That's kind of in here, but then there's more to it. I think that mustard aspect kind of came out too. So it's like you're eating cereal with mustard on it. No milk though. Hell yeah, that'd be a pretty good little appetizer. If you buy those cereal and then you put like a little drop of mustard on the top of it, and then you wrap the whole thing in roast beef. Hell yeah, I'm gonna do that at my next potluck thing. there's a bit of a baked potato kind of thing, and I guess I would say I'd commit to saying sour cream is in here a little bit. It's more, it's less the lactic part and more the, I don't know, the other part of sour cream. If there's more than one part. What tea was it? There's a tea I had recently. I think that might have been a kyobancha that I had. It was either kyobancha or mimasaka bancha. Probably mimasaka bancha, where I described it as like loaded potato skins. Loaded meaning with the sour cream, with the bacon, with the all those things that we do when we call them loaded. This has got that same kind of thing for me. Yeah, overall, I'd say it's gentle, it's simple, it's not like mouth-wateringly appealing, but I suppose it would be if this is what you're after. It smells a little bit too oily, it smells a little bit too fried, and I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, maybe it's like I want things to be, I don't know, healthier smelling. Says the guy who just ate ice cream not too long ago. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, wait, before I do, I'd still say that there's bubbles around the edge, and there's bubbles around this edge. That, again, is something that I don't like to see, and yeah, I mean, it usually means, for me, from my observation, that what I'm about to drink is kind of dirty. So in the world of flavor, when I guess if you go by that kind of like sort of like experience, like it's a story, like there's rising action and the climax and then falling action, and you know, all that's like an old drama, how you describe a drama. You know, there's build up usually in the beginning, and we've talked about it in a few other videos, but like there's build up in the beginning and it gets to like this kind of apex and you're like, this is great, and then it might maintain that for a little bit, or it might just drop down, or if you get like super lucky, it kind of builds up and then it stops somewhere and then builds up again. That almost never happens, but I guess with this, the way I would try to describe it is that it's kind of like this. Doesn't really build up to much. It's pretty much the same throughout, and unfortunately, when it does get to the peak, it's not really exciting because it's not that different from when it started, but it's also kind of bitter. And let me go again. That was kind of my first immediate thought. So like the toasted aspect is really simple. There's not a sweetness that comes with it, but then there's also not the burned aspect is not so carbony. So I think actually they nail the roasted note pretty well in this. As I said in maybe the Genmaicha video, I've tried to roast rice for Genmaicha, and it doesn't turn out well. And I think I'm doing something wrong. And actually, I was giving it some thought the other day. I think there's a chance that the rice for Genmaicha is cooked, steamed, whatever, in water prior to the frying process. And I say that because I believe I've tried to eat the rice before, and it was really easy to chew through. But if you just roast the rice and it doesn't pop, it's hard as hell. You can't bite through it. And so I was thinking, why can't I bite through it? Why is it soft? Well, it must be cooked. It must be cooked, dried, and then fried. And that would give it that kind of the texture as well, where it's kind of like, I don't know, like a little peanut, rather than a nice oval grain. So I thought about that. And anyway, I have roasted plenty of tea as well, and it seems like I can't get this flavor. So there must be a trick. And this is like roasting dark without burning it. So I don't know what it is in particular. But I mean, all of that kind of praise, this tea is like, it's a one-trick pony. It's all about that roasted note, and while it shows it pretty well, there's no supporting flavor. And so it's like you get there and you're like, yeah, it's roasted well. But is that the only reason why you drink a roasted tea? I don't think so. I mean, you should be drinking stem tea, I think, because you want the richness and you want the sweetness. Because I think that, if I'm not mistaken, it's the stem that has the sweetness, not so much the leaf. So that's why things like karigane and kukicha, why they can make such an easy, smooth and easy drinking tea, because they're rich and a little bit sweet. And you'd expect that sweetness is able to like play off in here somehow, but it just doesn't happen. It's simple, easy drinking. Actually, it's pretty astringent if I think about it. It really does dry the roof of the mouth. But yeah, it's pleasant enough, I guess. For what it is, you wouldn't expect tea, which is essentially made of the leftovers of the process, to be that exciting. If it is, that's a nice surprise. But I think if you're coming in with the expectation that it's going to be like mind-blowing and better than leaf tea, I think you're not being practical. Well, I'll go through the chart. Realized the video is already pretty long. Sorry, I went off on a couple tangents I didn't need to. The power of the aroma is like 7. Just a sec. The concentration of flavor is a 6. Astringency is 2. 2. Finish is 5. And the weight. Four, I guess. And okay, you know, there's been teas that didn't get 6s and in aroma, and I said, you know, just from the outset that this is like a pretty weak and boring tea. Those numbers, maybe they don't mean what you expect they mean. You can have a tea that smells incredibly deep, not deep, but like complex, and there's lots of interesting things to smell, like roasted apple and roasted peach and tamarind chutney, and you know, those kind of things. Like, you can get all of that, but then in a 2 out of 10 intensity. Or likewise, you can get like apple, or basically nothing, but that nothing could be 10 out of 10. It's I know that I realize it's a little bit hard to explain, but in my own crazy mind, it makes sense to me when I see that. And those graphs, I don't know if I said it in any other video, but the reason why I do that is it would tell me that brewing the tea as I did right here, I could improve it by so much. I would say, like, if I brew a tea at this ratio, the 1 to 75, and then if it was 8 out of 10 for the power, well, I think that if I increase the amount of leaf or something, I can probably get that to 10 out of 10, like as strong as I can perceive something. In a way, you could also say 10 is it's like perfect. However, if I brew a tea like this, and I said the aroma is like 3 out of 10, as good as the aroma might be, I would say that even if I doubled the amount of leaf, I bet you I couldn't get to 10. Or even if I tripled the amount of leaf, there's going to be eventually a hard limit. And that might be, if it was 3 like this, I might say it'd be like 7 out of 10 when it comes to another field. It's another tangent. Sorry guys, I'm too tired to keep it all together. Last thing is this. Smells roasted, smells woody. There's a little bit of a chocolatey thing, I think. Hojicha chocolate, maybe. Yeah, I guess we stop there. Dark green color, dark green brown. And our little friends, the yellow. Okay.